Hey, I'm Adam with Global Abundance LLC. Welcome to the channel. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new to the channel, hey, thanks for stopping in. On this channel, we talk all things real estate, whether you're buying or selling, residential and commercial. So if you find value in this content and you haven't done so already, hit that like button, subscribe, and share. The more people that know about this video, the better informed we'll all be. Also, we have a free VIP group where we share what's working right now in the industry. Feel free to join our community. It's totally free, and I'll leave the link in the description below. Now, in this video, we're diving into an important topic for anyone considering selling their home. Uh, what are the essential questions that you need to ask a real estate agent if you're looking to get your property listed and sold? Selecting the right agent is a pivotal decision in the home selling process, and the right questions can reveal the agent's capabilities, strategies, and commitment to selling your home quickly and for the best price. I wouldn't advise going with just, any old agent. Even if you have a relationship already with an agent you trust, it's going to place you in a good position by asking these questions that we'll be talking about today. Why does this matter to you? It matters to you because most agents, truth be told, only care about their commission and could really care less about you and your specific situation with your home. So, you know, if you do decide to work with an agent instead of selling directly to an investor, you're going to want to make sure they understand your needs and they have your best interest at hand. So, let's talk for a minute or two. So the first question you're going to want to ask is what percent of your business is listings? Now, this is a great question to ask because you have buying agents, you have selling agents. You're selling your home, so it could be great that Rachel, the local realtor, is willing to list your property, except for one tiny issue. Rachel is, one of the best in her class when it comes to finding properties for her clients to buy, but not so great when it comes to selling a property. You have to make sure you're aware of that distinction. Truth be told, not a lot of realtors are really strong marketers. And, at the end of the day, you want your property to actually sell, right? And that brings us to the second question, which is how many listings do they currently have? There's a couple things to look for here. One is if they currently have a bunch of listings, that means they're comfortable being a listing agent and they have listings on the market. But it could be a case where they have too many listings. That could be a problem because they may not have the actual time to commit to your specific property due to their already heavy workload. It doesn't mean they won't take on your property because, remember, it's all about the commission in most cases, but that's not what you're ultimately looking for. You want tangible results fast. For example, let's say, your property is one of the lower priced properties on the market. They may not see your situation as a priority because they have listings that are twice or even three times your price, which means, once again, a higher commission. Now, the third question is a big one. How many homes have you sold in the last year? Look, this is an important question to ask. Depending on where your property is located and the current local market conditions, agents may be struggling to get properties sold in a timely fashion. Nobody wants to list a property and have it sit for months before being sold, or worse, not getting sold at all, right? So we're talking about multiple price reductions and you possibly terminating the listing because your property just isn't moving. So this is a very strong and specific question to ask an agent you're looking to work with because it's all about performance, not just listing stats. Now, here's a really tough question that's going to reveal who you're really talking to, and that is how many of your listings expired? Look, there's a lot of tough markets out there, and your property just might fall into that category. So, this question will hit home when you ask it, and it'll give you a truthful peek into what that agent has been capable of in your market. Now think about it. If Ronald the realtor has 30 listings, but 28 of them expired, well, it's safe to say that you might have issues working with that agent. You need someone that's who's gonna get the job done for you and not just blow smoke up your what you're ultimately doing here is identifying any red flags. Numbers don't lie, although having a ton of listings sounds good. It's really smoke and mirrors if the majority of those listings they have expired. So, beware. And another important question to ask is what is your average days on market for your properties? Now, again, this can vary once again, depending on where your property is. There's some hot markets where it's like, you blink and, the property's sold. And then there's slower markets where you might hear crickets and, notice the tumbleweeds rolling by as you wait patiently for your property to sell. Look, if the average days on market in your area is a little higher than you'd like, uh, that may not work for you, especially if you're in a time sensitive situation. Now, moving right along, the next question you may want to know is what is your average list to sales price? You want to make sure you're getting the most money for your property in the least amount of time. So, you want to make sure that the agent is getting in the high 90s percentile. What does this mean? It means they're likely pricing a property properly from the start. To piggyback off that question, you want to ask what is the average list to sales price when it was first listed, not when it's sold. Example, your initial list price is say 600,000. Then the price reduced to 580,000, but it's sold for 560,000. Now, pricing your property the right way from the jump, that's even slightly lower than what the market is currently selling at, could start a bidding war for your property, which, is a good thing for you. Now, the question seems obvious, but this is a question you may overlook, and that is have you recently sold a home in my area? Okay. Every market has multiple neighborhoods and areas where prices can vary tremendously. Look, right now I'm in St. Louis, but it would be like comparing Hyde Park in Chicago to Inglewood. They're both on the south side, but two distinctly different markets in the same city, not too far from each other. Now, every neighborhood has its unique qualities like, the styles of homes, types of people, and resources that you need to consider. Uh, there's certain blocks in Chicago, for example, that look like a war zone. And the very next block over is like stepping into heaven. So there's just huge differences that your agent needs to be mindful of and have experience with. The next thing we want to know is what is your real estate marketing strategy? Are you hiring a professional photographer to really highlight my property, or are you pulling out and taking pictures with your iPhone and calling it professional photos? Professional photos are taken by, well, a professional, right? You're not looking for someone who took a quick discounted photography class using Groupon over the weekend. We're looking for a true pro here. Someone who takes pride in their photography work, making sure to showcase your property at its best. That's going to be crucial when it comes to attracting the new owners of your property. Lastly, and arguably the most important question is what is your communication and feedback strategy? A lot of times, when dealing with your average listing agent, what happens is they list your property and disappear into the wind. And, getting a hold of them and getting updates on where they're at with your property becomes a hassle for you with, restless and sleepless nights because, you're not in the loop of what's happening with your property. So communication is everything. And you want to make sure the agent you decide to work with, um, has communication at the top of the list. So whether that's feedback after showing, good or bad feedback, or just updating you on what's happening is key. So these are the top questions you should be asking an agent you're, interested in working with to sell your home. Don't be afraid to put them on the spot and ask the tough questions. Don't assume it's all good and they'll just get it done. You need assurance that you're working with someone who has your best interest in hand. Okay. So look, that's it for today's video. I hope you found value in this content. And if you did, do me a favor if you haven't already and like and subscribe. Also, I'd like to hear about your experiences working with agents down in the comments below. Your specific situation could be what someone else needs to hear that's going through the same thing or, facing the same type of issues. So until next time, peace and happy selling.